Hey everyone, Luke Dog here, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. Way up here. When I heard your agents would provide a distraction, I did not expect such a roaring fire. The confusion, the running around in circles, it was all very lively. Of course, Lord Enzo and his Venatori were decidedly less lively at the end of it. Arcanus Stagna was supplied with remnants of exposures to the Rift and the Fade, and she has done something. It's perhaps best to contain her efforts to the Undercraft from now on. There you are. The Theobald family is becoming a clear favorite in the war of station that is ongoing between the noble houses. The Bordelons have all but ceased to exist socially, and many are scrambling for traditional alliances. Lady Eustace Richelieu has emerged as a strong voice at court and is suggesting several arranged marriages to solidify ties, and presumably to the standing of her house as arbiter and matchmaker. Oh, we got a lot of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff down here. Inquisitor, with Marquis Etheloche Buffon trapped in her fortress at the Gamordan Peaks and are preparing to make a final assault. While we might earlier have ignored her transgressions in light of the greater threat to the world, it's good that we did not. Marquis Buffon's crimes go well beyond smuggling or illegal mining, and she is an ally in Lady Jeanette Le Gasp, who has come with Venatori mages to defend the Marquise. The Wardens have concerns about the Venatori using blood magic or their ties to Corypheus to influence their minds, but are prepared to follow your orders. We cannot delay for long, as demons in the mountains continue to harass our flanks. Please send your orders. We've no choice but to send the Wardens in. They must be prepared to fight whatever the Venatori attempt. If my scouts can find an alternative entrance, the Venatori may not have time to affect the Wardens. If the Wardens can hold off the demons for 3 days, my friend Baroness Nathalie de la Souche will have siege equipment there to bring down that fortress. Go, Liliana.
Let's see what we have.
I had our people remove the downward pointing triangular symbols from our outposts. They have not made a reappearance, which means little. It's clear someone has an interest in the Inquisition. Someone organized, with ties to those across the sea. We've eliminated the Kunari as the most obvious suspects. Nonetheless, knowing who they're not does not tell us who they are, what they're doing, or why. They're clever, we know that, and they have resources. So do we, and they should learn that they are not to toy with the Inquisition. This is pointless. I won't commit our forces to hunting a shadowy cabal obsessed with little chalk drawings. I say we forget this and focus on Corypheus.
Inquisitor.
There's a contender to rival the alliance with the Theobalds. Lady Richelieu sent the following letter. The De Rosiers are a stubborn threat. The most efficient way to deal with them is to nullify with social alliance, but the only pairing of import is unavailable because of the Theobald daughter has betrothed herself elsewhere. She has the luxury of such a wasteful pairing because of the Inquisition bearing the weight of this partnership. Our hands are tied. You face the difficult task of attacking the status of Lord de Rosier, unless you were to demand that task of the Thibaults. If their investment were more taxing, they would be more inclined to arrange a match for the daughter, and that is a well-respected currency in Orlais. In your service, Lady Eustace Richelieu. I cannot claim it will be popular, but it would hardly be unusual for an allied partner to ask for such a concession. Such is the way of nobility.
Let us begin.
Okay, guys, you have your assignments. Let's go do them. In the meantime, I'm gonna go and talk to everybody since we continued the story quest. First up, I'm gonna check the Undercroft. See if Dagna's had any update on that Samson weakness thing. Since I didn't see it on the map. At least I don't think I did.
Mix and match, pick your badge. Thank you for your investment in my investigations, Inquisitor. I've learned something, I think. I don't know.
What have you learned? Did you find out about the Fade?
I got a scraping that was cleaned off you, and it's weird. And the other rift bits, they're weird. It's just weird. I said weird, right?
Answers, Dagna?
Lyrium and the Fade linked. But dwarves and Tranquil, not linked. But they work Lyrium, so they are. Somehow. And there's something there. I was face deep in a rune, and for a moment, I was tall. Really tall. And I thought all the thoughts.
What do you mean when you say, thought all the thoughts?
I don't know. As if for a moment I was around all my people, and my thought was all of theirs.
Your thoughts were their thoughts?
No, my thought was all of our thoughts, like parts. Words are mush. Maybe that's what the stone feels like. Or we think it feels like. If we think it feels. Creepy.
You felt taller. How much taller?
Like mountain tall. Or I was the... But I was moving. I felt dizzy. You know what I remembered? Watching a shaper it carve the wall of memory, except big. Isn't that weird? Maybe there were fumes.
So Tranquil and dwarves are linked to lyrium, but also not linked?
Like the lyrium needs to flow, but if you're part of it, it takes you with it. So you can't be part of it. That makes me sad. I'm not sure why. It seems like we should be part of it. Whatever it is. Or maybe we're the ones who make it happen. Whatever it is. You know what's frustrating? Answers that aren't answers. Blah.
Keep investigating and let me know what you find.
I tried to make it happen again, but it wouldn't. Then I had a headache. And cocoa and a lie down. I'll keep at it. It's weird. Oh, and I made a rune. It's weird too. Be careful with it.
Okay.
Something strange for you, Inquisitor. You're used to that by now, right?
I'll see you later, Dagna.
I can't wait.
Mind your mentor. Okay, time to go talk to everybody. Varric, You're up first.
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem. What can I do for you, Your Inquisitorialness?
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Carry on.
Nothing. Solus, how about you?
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, half-truths. It is a palace full of motivation, and motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
I hope you know that I didn't turn over Briala lightly. If I'd had another option...
What? Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves. I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Who do you have much in common with? Who are your people?
A good question. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, Briala did what she could. She was an admirable woman, even if her gambit failed.
Even if we couldn't help Briala, I hope we can make life better for our Legion elves.
Stop Corypheus. That will do for a start. It speaks well of you to feel for the oppressed. Help them for that. Know them for what they are, instead of just seeing a pair of pointed ears. How can I help?
I'd be interested in hearing your opinions on elven culture.
Perhaps you could ask Sarah. She has opinions.
You don't much care for Sarah, do you?
I pity her. Although I imagine she would detest that. Perhaps in truth, I envy her. She has a purity of purpose that I lack. I have observed too much and done too little. What do you wish to know?
Is elven magic different from the magic used by humans?
No and yes. Magic is magic, just as water is water, but it can be used in different ways. Dalish magic is more practical, not needing chantry approval, although they still frown on blood magic. Superstition. Much of it is more subtle. A legacy from when elves were immortal.
The legends of elven immortality. Did they use magic to increase their lifespan?
No. It was simply part of being elven. The subtle beauty of their magic was the effect, not the cause of their nature. Some spells took years to cast. Echoes would linger for centuries, harmonizing with new magic in an unending symphony. It must have been beautiful.
You said that the censure against blood magic was a superstition.
I did. It's fortunate Cassandra is not within earshot. Most modern cultures forbid blood magic. Publicly, even Devinda disapproves of it. But as I said, magic is magic. It matters only in how it is used.
True. And if the person given the blood is willing...
be honest, I don't see it as different from any other magic. It's a means to an end.
Indeed. The problem is that under the Chantry, blood magic is forbidden, so only criminals practice it. While in Tevinter, magisters compete with each other instead of keeping their volatile friends in check. They always succeed through power, so they have never had the chance to learn another way.
I'd like to know more about the elves from before our time.
The Dalish strive to remember Hallam Sharal. But Hallam Sharal was merely a fumbling attempt to recreate a forgotten land.
Arlathan.
Elvanan was the Empire, and Arlathan its greatest city. Place of magic and beauty, lost to time.
You've studied ancient elves. What else do you know of Arlathan?
We hear stories of them living in trees, and imagine wooden ramps or Dalish Erebels. Imagine instead spires of crystal twining through the branches, palaces floating among the clouds. Imagine beings who lived forever, for whom magic was as natural as breathing. That is what was lost.
What can you tell me about elves living in human cities?
The culture in alienages or among the slaves of Tevinter is like any of the impoverished and powerless. They cling to memories of a better past, and practice a few rituals to distinguish themselves from humans.
I'd like to know more about Dalish elves.
It is a mistake to think of the Dalish as a single group. They have lived as separate clans for centuries now. As a consequence, each clan has learned, interpreted, and forgotten different parts of elven history. Some trade freely with humans, or adopt city elves who flee the alienages. Others attack humans on sight.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Anything else?
My friend.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
See, the mural's getting more updated. Hey, Dorian.
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
That's something you actually miss?
Who wouldn't? All the drama, the scandal, the petty maneuverings. Back home, we engage in social affairs with the grim intensity of war. When blood is spilled, the battle is won. Less fun when you're the target, but to watch. My, yes. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I should go.
Naturally. The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
I should go.
Naturally.
Greetings again, Inquisitor.
I trust everything is well with the mages?
We're mostly relieved. An alliance with the Inquisition offers security. Although, who knows for how long?
I'll leave you to it.
Hey, Vivian.
My dear, I'm afraid I must ask you for help. There is an alchemical formula that I must complete, but I have been unable to obtain a critical ingredient. The heart of a snowy wyvern. I had arranged to obtain one, but the chevaliers working with me were killed in the Civil War.
If I'm going to hunt down a snowy wyvern, I need you to tell me everything you know about it.
They're quite rare and exceedingly dangerous. Their venom is the most potent of any wyvern. Ordinary hunters would not make the attempt. The risk is too great. You, my dear, would certainly be an equal to this monster.
I didn't know you were an alchemist, Vivienne. What exactly is this project you're working on?
It is a special request from a member of the Council of Heralds. I am still the Imperial Court Enchanter, after all. The matter is private. That is all there is to say.
You want me to risk my life to get this thing for you, but won't tell me what it's for.
My dear, it is hardly proper for me to blab the secrets of those who put trust in my discretion. I would do no less for you, after all.
I'm not a hunter. Why do you think I can help?
This beast is not hunted for sport, as other wyverns sometimes are. It is far more deadly. In the past, chevaliers have been dispatched to either kill the creatures or drive them away from villages. Since my chevaliers have fallen to political conflict, I find myself in need of someone with a martial aptitude.
No.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you, my dear. I would be most grateful. I shall give the location of its lair to Cullen. Remember, my dear, I must have its heart, or the potion will not work. I eagerly await your success.
What are you doing?
How may I help you?
See ya.
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
I am able to pursue my duties with optimal efficiency, thanks to Skyhold's present state.
As you were.
Yes, Inquisitor.
I set aside an entire shelf for Grey Warden lore, and so far it's not even half full. Those Wardens and their secrets.
Watch out for elves in Halam Sharal. Almost no one notices they are even present. A servant scrubbing floors, a waiter filling glasses, undergardeners weeding the border, maids and valets dressing nobles. There's no room, alcove, or alley so private you can't find one there. And they're watching. They're organized. The rumor you've heard of some mastermind leading the elves is no rumor. I've reports that this Briala was Celine's personal spy and assassin, a board of unusual skill. Who she's working for now, we cannot confirm. Say nothing. They will hear you. Part of our communique intercepted by Inquisition agents, author unknown. Grand Duchess Florian de Chalon, Your Grace, you requested the swiftest, surest method of getting a message to Grand Duke Gaspard, so I've arranged for you to meet with his sister, Grand Duchess Florian de Chalon. While she is of the least account among the current heirs to the Eurasian throne, her connection to her brother is extremely close. Gaspard will listen to anything she says. Be persuasive. Dragon update, cause I got damage increased.
Oh, dragons got buffed?
I handed in research, so my enough research, so my damage against them is increased.
Oh, so now it won't take you 17 years and 3 restarts in order to do it.
We'll see. The old gods will call to you. From their ancient prisons they will sing. Dragons with wicked eyes and wicked hearts. On blackened wings does deceit take flight. The first of my children, lost tonight. Canticle of Silence 3:6. The Dissonant Canticle of Silence is an alternate creation story to the versions in the Canticle of Threnodies. Much of the canticle is written from the point of view of the Maker himself as he addresses humankind, which is why it was ultimately considered a blasphemous presumption and removed from the verses of the chant. Popularly attributed to Archon Hessarian, Silence depicts the Maker as more sorrowful at the corruption and betrayal of his children, both spirit and mortal. He mourns the fall and corruption of the old gods as his own mistake, and urges his mortal children to turn aside from the dark path their elder siblings have led them down. Most historians agree that Archon Hessarian had indeed likely written this canticle during the bloody Tevinter Transfiguration. Literary scholars of the Imperium often cite this as one of the oldest recorded pieces of propaganda. In the 6th verse, the grieving maker calls upon his mortal children to acknowledge that the dragon gods have manipulated and deceived them, and to throw off their corruptive influence and return to the light. As the people of Tevinter rose up and slaughtered anyone remaining faithful to their old gods, this became the rallying cry of the most terrible bloodbath in the history of the Imperium. From the Chant of Light, Literary Analysis and History by Sister Tesseria.
Huh. Guess who it wasn't by? Brother Jenny TV.
Let me tell you something. There are mirrors, old mirrors, from the ancient times when our people ruled every part of this land. Only they're not really mirrors, they're illuvians. You find some dusty old scholar, he's going to tell you our people used illuvians to talk to each other. Don't believe it. They're portals. You walk into one, and eventually you come out the other side. Or at least that is what I'm told. You ever wonder why they've never found any elven roads, like our ancestors never walked anywhere? That's why. They used illuvians, and there are still illuvians in the old places today. Some of them even work, and Briala knows where they are. If we can get our hands on them, we'll have an advantage that no human could ever hope to counter. The ability to move across half of Thedas in a heartbeat. From a letter discovered in the ashes of a building in the Vertial Alienage, 940 Dragon. On Skyhold. Page from an Enchanter's Journal, scorched to near illegibility. The style is an old Ferelden dialect circa mid to late Divine Age. Blah, blah, blah. We've seen this bit. Possible references. Inquisitor. Your archivists have asked me how I came to know the name and location of Skyhold. To the latter, I might speak easily. When one walks in the Fade, any fortress that has seen enough battle shines as a beacon for spirits drawn to death and struggle, even after centuries of disuse. As to the former, I myself cannot say for certain. The whispers of old memories carry 1,000 such names upon their breath, and it is possible that this name belonged to some other keep in some other land. Still, it seems an auspicious name, for there is one peculiarity of language that your scholars seem to have missed. When the words reached my dreaming mind, Skyhold was not simply a fortress near the sky, nor was it some simplistic allusion to holding up the sky. Skyhold, Tarasilan Talas, was the place where the sky was held back. Given your efforts against the breach and our battle against a madman who seeks to assault the Black City in the Fade, I can only hope that the Inquisition's new stronghold lives up to its name. Hey, Liliana.
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
Is becoming divine something you really want?
When Justinia was alive, I would have laughed at anyone who even suggested that I could be her successor. Things have changed. Still, I don't know. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
Whoever becomes divine will have my support if she requires it.
And I'm sure whoever becomes divine will absolutely require the Inquisition's backing. The Chantry is faltering, but it still has influence over the people. Who tells the people what's right? Who do they look to in times of peril? A divine with enough support can change the Chantry. And with it, Thedas. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems.
Hold on.
A message from Divine Justinia.
That's a shock. You're all right reading it?
Thank you for the concern, Inquisitor. But I am. This message was written months, perhaps even years ago, to be delivered to me if she died. I've heard of such contingency plans. A sudden death often leaves loose ends. I'm to go to Valence, a small village on the waking sea. There is something hidden there.
Do you know what you're looking for?
The Divine was a powerful woman who used her position to obtain all sorts of things. Whatever she hid in Valence would very likely benefit the Inquisition and must be kept from falling into the wrong hands. If I'm lucky, she will have instructions for me.
You take your instructions from me. What sort of help can a dead divine give you?
I don't know. Perhaps something to do with the Chantry. Or it could be personal. She guided me for many years, Inquisitor, as a divine and as a friend. There are days when I still look to her for advice, only to remember that I am alone.
Why hide things in Valence? What's so special about it?
Justinia was revered mother at the Chantry there for many years before she became the Divine. It is a place that holds great meaning for her.
I'll help in whatever way I can.
Wonderful. I was hoping you would agree to come with me to Valence. One more thing. If what is hidden in Valence is as valuable as I think, we're not going to be the only ones looking for it. I shall meet you at the Chantry in Valence. Try not to delay. Yes?
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
What do you know of Morrigan?
She's changed. She used to be so disagreeable, cruel. She said things just to hurt people. Now the sharp edges have worn away. Perhaps it was Kieran. He saved us, did you know? I would have lost my love without Morrigan's child. I may never know her intentions, but I'll always be grateful.
Oh, Morgan finally
We can continue
shows
this
up
conversation
2 games
later.
You know where I am.
Where's she been? Wandering the wilds?
Probably.
Anything I should know?
Celine has cemented power in Orlais. Good, we need an ally like her. At the moment, she's said to be rooting out the last of Gaspard's supporters. Once that is done, we will have a united Orlais behind the Inquisition.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
See you later. Hi, Solus. Okay, that's everybody in here. On to the rest.
Grand, isn't it? To know the sanctity of our great institutions is it.
Empress Celine, unconquered. Empress Celine has proven beyond doubt that she is the rightful ruler of Orlais. The usurper Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon met his downfall in Halam Sharal, heralding the end of the War of the Lions. With Gaspard defeated, the Empress's reign will continue unchallenged as she carries Orlais into a golden age. All hail Celine, long may she reign. Crier Belines. Grey Wardens declare support for Inquisition. Following the destruction of the Temple of Sacred Ashes and the opening of the breach, all efforts to locate the Grey Wardens failed. To many, the disappearance of this noble order was yet another ill omen. However, thanks to the efforts of the Inquisition, the Grey Wardens have returned. It appears they were gathered at the Fortress of Adamant in the western approach. According to Inquisition representatives, the Grey Wardens were focused on their own solutions to the crisis facing Thetis. After convening at Adamant, the Grey Wardens and Inquisition entered into an alliance, wherein the Grey Wardens will support the Inquisition in the war against Corypheus.
So what now?
The Empress. She holds the throne as she should, and void with that glory.
Ooh, we got a mission over here.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
Is there a problem? It seems like she's bothering you.
Mother Giselle is kind, and she means well. So, yes, she was. I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next Divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus, everyone close to you. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Liliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Liliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
If they'll pick non-priests, why am I not a candidate?
Because you're a man, first and foremost. If they name you a candidate, they may as well join the Tevinter Imperium. Truly, though, I imagine it's because they're frightened of you. A weight such as yours would break the Sunburst throne and tear the Chantry to pieces. I just don't know why they believe Leliana or I would be any better.
If you don't want it, then tell them so.
Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
I'm surprised to hear you, of all people, say that.
Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the Chantry's wishes? In all my years as a Seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
Many extraordinary things have happened to get us to this point.
I'm not so certain. I think it has been a long time coming. Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous. But he would never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
You're not the only candidate. What about Liliana?
Liliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy. But she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Liliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think. And that would be chaos for us all.
What would you change about the Chantry?
The Circle of Magi has its place, but it needs reform. Let the mages govern themselves with our help. Let the Templars stand not as the jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to all peoples of Thedas, human or no. That is what I would change.
So this is your new crusade?
I've agreed to nothing yet.
And if the Chantry calls on you?
Then I will do whatever I can, for as long as I can. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority. Hello again.
So, you're a candidate for Divine now.
So I am informed.
Is that something you actually want?
Why should what I want matter?
Why shouldn't it matter? Don't you have the right to be happy?
It is very simple. The Chantry needs to survive. To do that, it must change. I have never believed in asking another to do what you are unwilling to do yourself. So I look upon this as an opportunity. I owe it to myself and all of Thedas to seek the Sunburst throne.
There are other ways you can change things.
Perhaps. I may not have a choice in the matter if the Chantry clerics pick another.
Do you have any advice for me?
It seems that Corypheus searches for elven artifacts. That's hardly surprising. Tevinter power is based on what those vultures scavenged from the ancient elves. Whatever advantage he hopes to gain, we need to stop him at once.
Do you have any advice for me?
Nothing that you could not think of yourself, Inquisitor.
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
I wonder what it is that gives Grey Wardens their legendary skill and stamina. I should like to study one. Would that fine fellow I've seen in your company consent to a careful examination?
Blighted blood.
Oh, my maker. You cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Halam Shiral. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut. Although it is yet bewildering at the center.
Person just walked through a wall.
There are problems coming out of Halam Shiral?
There are always problems from Halam Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor. Nothing. Unfortunate.
Time to visit the tavern.
What was that?
Good question.
You know I've got no problem with Orlesians, but Halam Sharal was a mess. At least under the Qun, you don't get everyone tripping on each other's dicks while the country goes to crap.
Corypheus had agents sowing dissent and muddying the waters.
That's just it. Orlais is so vulnerable. If you killed everyone in the Triumvirate, the Qun would survive unchanged. I don't know. The Qun isn't perfect, but it doesn't care what any single person wants. Orlais is full of people who care about nothing else. How you doing?
See you later, Bo.
Nice talking with you, boss.
What is Bo's name?
The Iron Bowl. That's what he goes by, the Iron Bowl. Sarah, why is your door closed?
Because she wants privacy.
One for the Empress. For Gaspar. Briala. The Duchess. And Corypheus. Right in the dangle bag.
Well, remind me to stay on your good side.
Don't worry, you're sparkling compared to that lot. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right, so long as there's a book for the throne? A pretty one, sure. But how many lives are worth one empress's arse? Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
I don't know. Want to stop a party, I think you go earwigs.
I hate those things, with their little pinchy butts. Josephine should add that to her paper threats. You know the real lesson from all this? Never sleep with an empress. That, and Briala being an idiot, the whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
Oh, now you know why the door was closed.
Your wish is something, something.
Are things playing out the way you expected?
About time we turned around on this Carifi whatever. Make him feel like he's on the wrong end of the dogs for once, yeah?
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on. Back, yeah? Always good.
What do you think about the people who have gathered?
Again with your people. Right, which ones?
Who else we are doing?
What do you think about our spy master, ambassador, and commander?
Liliana is pretty in places. Swear I've seen her too. Or heard she used to play. But that'd be mad. Now, Josie, you don't need me going on about your little Josie. You know her better. And Cullen. I suppose if you want a jackboot, you get a big one so you can grow into it. Nice hair, though.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here.
Griffin, Warden, heavy. Her mask, big head. His mask, tight face. Delancey corset lacing. Snip, boing, floppity. Doodle of a googly-eyed face with a peculiar mustache. That's not a face. I think that minstrel Meriden is chatting me up. The song is creepy. Religious book. It's working for Lord Inquisitor. Read it. Scratched out. Bored. Get Giselle to explain it. Scratched out. Bored. Sit and guard and think about it. Scratched out. Bored. Drink to Andraste. Saving the world soon. Weird. I'll kick Carifi tit in every ball he has. Hi, Cole.
Thank you. Weirdo.
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
What did you think of the masks?
What masks?
The masks. Everyone had them on their faces.
Those weren't their faces.
I'll talk to you later.
If you like.
Liliana.
She's still behind the curtains in the reading room, watching the blood pool on the floor.
I'll talk to you later.
If you like.
Wow, we can't even talk to him about stuff now.
Yeah, he's secluded himself.
So where's this side quest? Exclamation point. Disappointed by your performance at the Helmstrahl Ball? Try dancing classes offered by Scout Harding. Watch this space for the sign-up sheet. I'm sorry, I know this has been up here forever, but I keep being sent to the furthest corner of Thetis and haven't found the time.
Anything we can do to fast.
Hey, Sutherland.
Inquisitor.
Thank you. I'm pleased to hear it.
Cole.
I suppose you're right.
Welcome back.
Oh.
Of course.
It's the Bard.
It's just what I heard.
But I can't interact with her.
Could be better.
Da 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 da. Okay, back in.
Still waiting for your letter of marque or commendation.
You have to reload the location. He's gone.
What the heck? Fine, I'll go speak to Cullen.
I'll lead you.
I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
I didn't care for it myself.
I shouldn't be surprised. Chantry can be the same. Their politics are less extravagant, but just as heated. The Empress rules a country. The Divine influences half a continent.
Is there anything I should know?
My senior officers report that the soldiers are in good spirits. Having the Imperial Army as an ally has bolstered their confidence. The Orlesian military is highly regarded. The Chevaliers following our champion. The recruits are taken with the idea.
Is there anything I should know?
Your plan is sound. We are ready to move on the Arbor Wilds when you give the word. I will see you reach the temple before Corypheus.
Is there anything I should know?
Josephine seems happier of late.
I hope so. Josephine deserves every happiness.
She's been smiling constantly since your trip to Val Royeaux. I swear at one point she was humming.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
Our soldiers handled themselves well during the siege on Adamant. They reacted quickly to changes on the battlefield. More importantly, they relied on each other. Trust in your fellow soldiers is not something that can betray.
I should let you get back to work.
Clown. Hey, Blackwall.
Want a drink? I've a hankering for company.
Sure.
When I was a boy, there were these urchins who roamed the streets near my father's house. One day, they found a dog. A wretched little thing. It came to them for food. They caught it, tied a rope around its neck, and strung it up. Do you know what I did?
Not the fireside tale I was expecting, Blackwall.
Just listen. I did nothing. Not a damn thing. It was crying. I saw the kicking legs, the neck straining and twisting. And I turned around, went inside, and closed the door. I could have told my father, or alerted someone. I didn't. I just pretended it wasn't happening.
You couldn't have been the only one there. and no one else stepped in.
Doesn't make what I did any less wrong. I may as well have tied the noose myself. We could make the world better. It's just easier to shut our eyes.
Nothing worth doing is easy.
Look at you. You would have done the right thing. We're lucky there are people like you in the world. There's always some dog out there. Some fucking mongrel that doesn't know how to stay away.
I wonder who knows pain astride the game. It's one who lacks a certain wherewithal. For he knows well a pain with paltry gain. The fool who dares to rhyme Halam Shara. There is an issue that you should address. I think it's worth your time, Inquisitor.
Okay. Blackwall! I wasn't done. Kind of nice that you actually see some of your agents walking around camp. It's Griffin. Inquisitor, you've been a friend and an inspiration. You've given me the wisdom to know right from wrong, and more importantly, the courage to uphold the former. It's been my honor to serve you.
What does that mean?
The Spy Master has confirmed it. Blackwall is gone.
He would not have left unless he had a good reason.
It is not for me to speculate on Blackwall's motivations. Sister Leliana had us search the Warden's quarters. Not much to find, except this. It was missing from last week's reports. I don't know what Blackwall's interest in this particular matter is, but it could be a good place to start.
Crumpled sheet of paper. Looks like it was removed from a recent report to Sister Liliana. Lieutenant Cyril Mornay, one of the soldiers responsible for the Callier massacre of 937, was captured in Leeds. Like the others who were arrested for their involvement, Mornay insists that he did not know who he was assassinating, and that he was just following the orders of his captain. This captain, Tom Renier, is still at large. Mornay is to be executed within the week in Val Royeaux. Ooh, I need to sell stuff. I should also get out my formal wear, apparently. We're getting a whole bunch of other companion side stuff.
Inquisitor?
Little Miss Swoop, how you doing? Who is this goon?
You're the Inquisitor. I thought you'd be scarier. Mother said you were scary.
Why would your mother say such a thing?
Because people fear the next stage if it comes too soon.
Kieran, are you bothering the Inquisitor?
Of course not. Did you see what's on his hand, Mother?
I did see. 'Tis time to return to your studies, little man.
Look at this robotic hand gesture.
My son. Never where you expect him to be, naturally.
I didn't know you had a son.
Why would you? I take great pains to not let my own reputation affect him in any way. To most in the Imperial Court, he's simply a quiet and well-spoken lad. Perhaps the heir of some distant family. But he goes where I go. Worry not, Inquisitor. Kieran is a curious boy, but seldom troublesome.
Will his father be joining us as well?
'Twould be most unlikely. I have raised Kieran on my own for quite some time now, as was my preference from the start. So 'tis but the two of us, Inquisitor. Your fortress is a large place, and you will scarce notice our presence.
He seems like a fine young man.
But not the sort one might expect a woman like me to raise. No son of mine would be raised in a marsh, bereft of contact with the outside world. His future will be difficult enough without my adding to his burden. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Tara Salan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
I like this place. I've made it mine.
The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. You were kind to welcome my aid, Inquisitor, even knowing as little of me as you do. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may. I understand you have spared the Grey Wardens from destroying what goodwill was left them. 'Tis good of you, considering the weakness Corypheus exploited was their own doing. Still, Should a true archdemon one day arise, they will no doubt be needed. Or so they would have us believe.
Now that you've seen the Inquisition up close, what are your impressions?
'Tis remarkable what you have built. I will give you that. A web of favors has wrapped every noble family in southern Thedas around your fingers. All this in precious little time, conjured from thin air through the power of fervor alone. I wonder if Corypheus suspected what he was enabling, just as I wonder what will become of all this once he is defeated.
We have to defeat him first. Then I'll worry about what's next.
Should that happen, the world will lie at your feet, more or less. Beware the heights you reach, Inquisitor. When this is done, many will be eager to knock you back down.
I'd like to know more about you.
Ah yes, whence comes the mystery woman slinking her way into the Inquisition's ranks? Once I was an apostate, living well away from the banal influence of the Chantry in the Kukari Wilds. Then came the Fifth Blight with its darkspawn, and I left Ferelden for the Empress's court. 'Tis certain the nobles of Orlais breathe a collective sigh of relief that I am now here.
It's odd that an apostate could live so openly.
It confuses those who expect apostates to cower and hide. I stand boldly before them and demand to know why I need some Chantry mage to teach me to control my power. They would put me on a leash so they can feel safer at night. I am uninterested in their comfort. Naturally, it helps to have friends in high places.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight?
The Blight began in the Kukari Wilds, so yes, I experienced it firsthand. Indeed, I fought at the hero of Ferelden's side for a time. He is the reason the Blight was defeated. In the end, what he did for me, I will always be grateful. And after that, I came to Orlais. The last place one would look for me, or such was my hope.
The Orlesian court seems like an odd place to find someone like you.
That was the point, originally. I knew the Empress was intrigued by the arcane, and that I could answer questions no Chantry mage could. Thus, we fit together nicely. I became her advisor, and she my benefactor and source of refuge. Truth be told, our arrangement would not have lasted much longer. Too many wagging tongues, even for Celine.
I leave you to the garden.
Of course. I imagine your forces will be heading into the Arbor Wilds very soon, Inquisitor. Trust me when I say that wherever the Alluvian is hidden, it is worth any effort to prevent Corypheus from acquiring it.
I'd like to know more about you.
If you have questions, then ask.
I leave you to the garden.
Until next time, then. Wandering the gardens, I see.
You seem to know a great deal about elven lore.
The Dalish are not the only ones interested in the distant past, Inquisitor. Indeed, my skills allow me access to places the Dalish dare not even dream of. The ancient elves hold secrets they have not yet given up. Secrets about the foundation of Thedas itself. Thus, they are my focus. Corypheus clearly feels the same.
I leave you to the garden.
As you like.
What a guy. Oh, look at him stacking rocks. Hey, shortstop. Hey.
And last but certainly not least.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
You don't see the Empress of Orlais almost killed in cold blood every day.
Not so brazenly, no. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The Empress realized she was in danger.
She's always in danger. Those loyal to her should have practiced more vigilance. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
What the heck is it?
My favorite moment of the evening is still our waltz in the garden.
I could have danced with you for hours. We must do it again sometime. I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
Then the Inquisition's deeds have won their respect.
They'd never have contacted us otherwise. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a Venatory cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevara instead of Tevinter.
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Tevinter is the longer, richer gain.
What sort of man is the King of Navarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Nevada.
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sigar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as thin.
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
I actually have relatives in Navarra. If you reason with the Archon, Trevelyan's can persuade King Marcus we should help both countries.
Letting the Inquisition curry favor with both Tevinter and Nevada. Most ideal. It's good to see you.
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Marquise Hedinel is here, but Her Grace sent her apologies for missing dinner. Allergies, I'm afraid.
Allergies to what?
Wheat, eggs, honey, meat, most fish, some poultry, and even peppers, Tevinter fruits, and every nut under the sun.
What does the Marquis subsist on?
Spite, according to her siblings, as the Marquise had the fortune to be firstborn of her family. Try to avoid invitations to any of their luncheons.
Ow. Okay, let's get Liliana back out. And then we'll help out some companions. You're over here, right? There you are. Inquisitor. Marquise Buffon has been killed, along with Lady Legaspe and her Venatory allies. Thanks to Sister Liliana's scouts, we were able to gain covert entry into the fortress, although the Venatory still managed to use their magic against the Grey Wardens to significant effect. I regret to inform you that after recent actions, the Grey Wardens have suffered too many losses to be of any further assistance. The last warriors died fighting for the Inquisition in good faith. I've sent their personal effects to Weishout. Ooh. I hope that doesn't affect anything. So now an hour left on you. Or an hour left on you. Liliana, where do you want to go?
With rifts contained in the area, we can send in smaller groups to offer relief.
I agree. Are you well?
A headache, nothing more.
Are you sure you're well, Colin? I'm worried about you, bro.
My friends, I did enjoy our little venture, and I hate to be a bother. Ugh. But I believe you owe me a favor. After all, Lord Enzo is quite dead. As you may recall, the Crows and I are not on the best of terms. They were not pleased I stole their target out from under them. It means they don't get paid. They could have taken credit for my work, but I had already written to their employer. I earned the prize after all. The Crows would like to speak to me, as you can imagine. They've sent more of their number to Hercynia. It's time I left the free marches. Zevran.
Hey, that's a name I recognize.
My agents could plant false leads for the Crows.
Inquisitor.
That's our good buddy.
Yep.
How's he doing?
Apparently, pretty good.
You know? Why don't you invite him over?
I wish I could.
A weird little Antivan boy.
Alright, journal. 10 mornings execution. Exalted Plains.
Oh, look at that face. He is missing.
Don't worry, Blackwall. We'll bring you. We'll get to you.
Yeah, we just been wanting to do it.
Just as I remember it.
You didn't tell me you'd been here before.
The hero Ferelden and I came here after the Blight to visit Justinia. She was just Dorothea then, a revered mother.
It's peaceful here. You must have good memories of this place.
It was a place of comfort. It is good to see it still untouched by Corypheus.
Liliana? Is that you?
Sister Natalie, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Val Rayo.
No. I've been here since Justinia died. This place makes me feel like she's still with us.
Inquisitor, this is Natalie, a trusted friend.
Wait, Inquisitor? You brought the Inquisitor here? My lord, forgive me for not recognizing you earlier.
I don't care.
I wish more people would fail to recognize me.
Oh, I see.
Natalie, listen. There is something hidden here. Something Justinia left for me.
Oh, really? What is it?
I don't know, but we'll find it. I'm curious to see what brought us all here. Justinia's letter came with instructions for me. They were...
Hold on.
Shut up. I need to read.
Solve the clue above all that strength lives on an open heart. That light has no fear of darkness. Always remember that faith sprung from a barren branch.
Little cryptic. Always remember that faith sprung from a barren branch. That light has no fear of darkness. Above all, that strength lives in an open heart.
She must be hinting at something in here. Let's look around.
Well, we've got paintings and you got statues.
They still sing verses from the benedictions.
Why are you...
That canticle was Justinia's favorite.
Yes, of course. We never give up the traditions of our most beloved divine.
That is lovely to hear. I stare up at the breach sometimes. It's terrifying, but beautiful in its way.
It is beautiful.
Have you seen it by sunrise?
When the sun rises through it, it splits into what looks like 1,000 suns, like a broken mirror.
Is there anything over here?
Yes. Spectacular, isn't it? You must be careful, Natalie. Justinia's enemies are making their move, vying for position and the Sunburst throne. Courage to trust. What was that? Looks like we opened something.
That's pretty.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Liliana, stop! What are you doing?
I'm protecting us. They never sing the benedictions here on Fridays, Natalie. Something so simple. And you got it so wrong. I wanted to believe, but you were lying from the start. Keep that pretty mouth shut if you must, dear. You've already told me everything I need to know. The prickleweed burrs on your hem, talking about the sun rising through the breach. It all points to a single place. Morel in the Dales, Grand Cleric Victoire's bastion. She sent you, didn't she? Victoire was always an opportunist.
Who is this Grand Cleric? I've never heard of her.
An experienced cleric. She never agreed with Justinia, but kept her ideas to herself. I suppose now, with Justinia dead, she thought she could make her move.
I want to know what this Grand Cleric planned here.
She sent Natalie here to see what Justinia was hiding, no?
The Inquisition has turned Thidas away from the true Chantry. It must be stopped.
Stop us? You must be joking.
Mother Victoire is well loved by many. The Inquisition has more enemies than you know.
And Victoire thinks she can ally with them.
We don't have to be at odds, Natalie. You could come with us. Join the Inquisition.
I was called to serve the Grand Cleric. I will not betray her. Kill me then. I am not afraid to die for my beliefs. At least I still know what I believe.
Release her, Liliana. She's no threat.
The Grand Cleric?
She is one woman. We are the Inquisition.
The Inquisitor has spoken. Run. Tell your mistress that she has a choice. The Inquisition is coming. No! This can't be it. There's nothing here.
Check again. Perhaps the box itself is a puzzle. She seems the puzzling sort.
No, it's just an empty box. There's a message carved in the lid. The left hand should lay down her burden. She's releasing me. The divine has a long reach, but it is always her left hand that stretches out. 1,000 lies, 1,000 deaths. Her commands, but my conscience that bore the consequences.
She apologized in the Fade. She said she failed you. This is what she meant.
All this time, Justinia carried the fear that she was using me. Just like I'd been used in the past. But Marjolaine's games were trifles. Justinia gambled with the fate of nations. She needed me. No one else could have done what I did. She knows that.
Then you have to let it go. Let her go. You don't owe her anything anymore.
If it were not for you, I would have killed Natalie and called it a good thing. Thank you for showing me what was right when I couldn't see it for myself. There are things that must be said, but not here. I will see you back at Skyhold.
Take the box! Go back and pick up the box.
I can't.
What stupid game is this? It's a pretty box.
Back to Skyhold.
Design this game. Kunari! Hey, where are the Kunari anyways?
Probably up in Parvalan.
Yeah.
We did attempt an alliance with them, but negotiations fell through.
Of course they did.
Basically, we were helping them escort a Kunari dreadnought to attack a known Venatori smuggling ship. So we had to take out the camps along the coast or whatever and hold them while the dreadnought passed through.
Yeah.
So me and Iron Bull took one camp while he sent his chargers to take the other one. Unfortunately, Venatori, as the dreadnought was coming through, Venatori agents came back to retake their camp. So we had to make a choice. Either let the chargers die and allow the dreadnought to pass, or tell the chargers to retreat, lose the camp, and the dreadnought. We chose to retreat. So the Kunari basically nullified the partnership with us and made Bull tell Vashoth. Yeah. Hey, Dorian.
Grand Cleric Victoire has offered the ambassador support for the Inquisition.
Ah, Natalie is as persuasive as ever.
You may depart in a moment.
I'm told that Ambassador Montillier is pleased with the restraint you showed in Valence.
She's positively beside herself. I will never hear the end of it.
Niceness before knives, Liliana. Haven't I always told you?
Will that be all, my lady?
For now.
How have you been feeling since Valence?
Good. Wonderful. Valence was something of a rebirth for me. If you hadn't been with me at Valence, I would have killed Natalie. I'd have told you that I didn't have a choice. But there is always a choice. I am more than this. I am more than what Justinia made me.
Do you resent Justinia for what she did?
How can I when there is so much between us? When she gave her life for peace? No, I believe her intentions were pure. Most intentions are.
What does this mean for my Inquisition? Will you still be my spy master?
Of course. I would not give up my post. Not after everything we've built. I just know now that I shouldn't ignore my heart. Mercy is not always a weakness.
You've exceeded her. She could never have imagined the power you now hold.
And now I will know how to use that power wisely. I have to stay true to who I really am, before a spy master, left hand or bard. I almost lost myself. I'm listening.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
Now I say let's go get Blackwall. Hi. Just sees me drop down from 50 feet. Yep. Typical Inquisitor. Hey, we got a nice banquet going. Oh wait, what am I doing? I could just fast travel.
Yeah, you can. Dick his best friends.
Who are his best friends?
I don't know. Varric is everyone's best friend.
Yeah, Varric's everybody's. Except he lost a good friend.
Yeah, because you killed him. That's okay, he's still got... Who's his other friends in that game?
I don't know. I think he and Anders are basically... I think Anders basically cut from everybody.
Of course he did.
Zevran? Yeah. Meryl, I think they get along pretty well.
Fenris. No, he's friends with Fenris. They play cards, remember?
Oh, yeah.
him and the pirate lady and Fenris all play cards together.
Isabella?
Yeah.
And then there was also Aveline.
Yeah, but he never made a nickname for her. She was the only one who never had a nickname. Like, they even had a conversation. She's like, you have nicknames for literally everyone else except Hawk and me.
Huh, you're right. Oh, it's dreary.
Sad day for an execution.
Cyril Mornay, for your crimes against the Empire of Orlais. For the murders of General Vincent Callier, Lady Laurette Callier, their 4 children, and their retainers. You are sentenced to be hanged from the neck until dead. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Very well.
Oh, this is grim.
Proceed.
Stop!
A Grey Warden.
This man is innocent of the crimes laid before him. Orders were given, and he followed them like any good soldier. He should not die for that mistake.
Then find me the man who gave the order.
Oh, shit.
Blackwall! No, I am not Blackwall. I never was Blackwall. Warden Blackwall is dead, and has been for years. I assumed his name to hide like a coward from who I really am.
You, after all this time.
It's over. I'm done hiding. I gave the order. The crime is mine. I am Tom Rainier.
That's rough, buddy. You can just port there.
I guess. I was just gonna mark it on my map.
The Dread Wolf.
I didn't take Blackwall's life. I traded his death. He wanted me for the Wardens, but there was an ambush. Darkspawn. He was killed. I took his name to stop the world from losing a good man. But a good man, the man he was, wouldn't have let another die in his place.
You saved that man. That took courage.
Courage? I killed innocent people. Destroyed Mornay's life and the lives of others like him. One moment of courage will not make up for that. Why are you here?
I needed you to know you aren't alone in this.
Don't you understand? I gave the order to kill Lord Callier, his entourage, and I lied to my men about what they were doing. When it came to light, I ran. Those men, my men, paid for my treason, while I was pretending to be a better man.
This is what I am. A murderer, a traitor, a monster.
What's up with your eyelids, man?
I know you're more than what you say. Have some faith in yourself.
I gotta go all the way back to Cullen.
Yep.
I have Liliana's report on Tom Rainier.
Give me the overview.
Looks like our friend was once a respected captain in the Imperial Orlesian army. Before the Civil War, he was turned, persuaded to assassinate one of Celine's biggest supporters. He led a group of fiercely loyal men on this mission, and told them nothing of it. His men took the fall for him. A few lucky ones, like Mornay, managed to escape.
This is helpful, or at least educational.
Don't blame yourself. We all made this mistake. What do we do now? Rainier has accepted his fate, but you don't have to. We have resources. If he's released to us, you may pass judgment on him yourself.
If it were up to you, what would happen?
What he did to the men under his command was unacceptable. He betrayed their trust, betrayed ours. I despise him for it. And yet he fought as a warden, joined the Inquisition, gave his blood for our cause. And the moment he shakes off his past, he turns around and owns up to it. Why?
He wanted to change. To prove that he'd really left his past behind, he had to face up to it.
Saving Mornay the way he did took courage, I'll give him that. But I can't tell you what to do.
Have Rainier released to us.
We must move quickly. We can explore our options back at Skyhold.
You know what that means? War table.
Rainier was born in Markham, the city-state in the Free Marches. There's little information on his early life, but he was already a skilled warrior by the time he turned. Hoping to make his fortune, he joined the Grand Tourney, that great march or contest of arms. He won the melee, proving himself and earning a substantial sum of gold. What happened to the coin Rainier won in the tourney is a mystery. 2 years later, he appeared in Orlais, no richer than at 18. Still, he leveraged his abilities and lingering fame to gain a place in the Orlesian army. Rainier excelled as a soldier, rising through the ranks quickly to become a captain with a number of men under him. Rainier's men were fiercely loyal. Our sources believe that many would have gladly defied a higher command at his word. On the surface, Rainier safeguarded his men's interests, but further investigation reveals that he was primarily concerned with his own advancement and profit. Rainier's desire to amass a fortune likely explains his involvement in the massacre of Lord Vincent Callier and his family. Our sources tell us that Rainier was approached by a chevalier, Sir Robert Chapuis. Sir Robert supported Grand Duke Gaspard's claim to the throne and wished to enter into his good graces by eliminating Lord Callier, one of Celine's staunchest allies. Chapuis hired Rainier to assassinate Callier and offered him a great deal of coin for it. We have no reason to believe his actions were politically motivated. In the spring of 935, Lord Callier and his family were traveling to their summer home on Lake Celestine when their caravan was ambushed. It is unknown if Rainier realized that Callier would be traveling with his family. Rainier and his men slaughtered Lord Callier and his entourage. They spared not even the children, all 4 under the age of 13. It seems that none of Rainier's men were aware of the true reasons behind the Lord's killing. They simply followed Rainier's orders. Rumors of Rainier's connection to the murders began swirling throughout the upper ranks of the army, and must have given him forewarning. He was gone when guards came to arrest him. His men, however, were not so lucky. Almost all were charged with treason, save a few who managed to get away. Tom Rainier was labeled a traitor and a criminal, but remained at large until now. Gotta break him out. But the problem is, there's no one available.
Oh, yes.
Expertly slumped, my lord.
Guess we'll go do the Snowy Wyvern then.
It's somewhere in there.
Good thing we got a fast travel point.
What?
Oh. Try experiencing the Inquisition again with a different world history. In other words, play it with new choices.
Kill all your old companions.
No.
Except Varric.
Yeah.
Because he can't die. He's legally required to survive Dragon Age 2.
Just watch Dragon Age 4. Varric's gonna be the storyteller again. He might not be a playable companion, but he'll be the narrator or something. That will be his role from now on.
When they make Dragon Age Origins Remastered, Varric's the storyteller.
Yeah, replace Duncan with Varric.
Yeah. That'll be how it goes.
Time to find a Snowy Wyvern.
Wyvern.
They pronounced it Wyvern. I know. The Exalted Plains, once again.
Oh, I know this place.
Yep.
All the rocks look stupid.
Well, that was pointless. Nope, nope, nope. Gotta go around the barracks. Hi, Hala. Okay, seriously, what the heck?
Look at that, there's a little bridge over there.
I see. Not what I'm looking for, but I'm gonna kill it anyway. If I wanted to, I could give her a common wyvern heart.
But she said she wanted a snowy one.
I know. So I'm gonna do that. Because I don't know how this will react. Even though, yeah, I don't use her a lot and don't really care for her. But...
Did you take her with you?
No. Because I wanted Solus and Bull to continue their chess match.
Well, chess is fun, but you're going against the dragon without the pressure on it.
It's not a full dragon, it's a small wyvern. That's what I'm gonna do.
Whoa, what are you doing?
You zoomed in front of me, so... Because you can target different parts of the body. Yeah, over here I think is where I fought the high dragon of this area. Over here, yeah. It's all because I wanted to get that landmark. Wyvern, Wyvern, where are you? I'm guessing... Probably, I don't know. I'm guessing it's this one. That was a miss. Snowy Wyvern got frozen. Good work, everybody. Back to Skyhold. Okay, Vivian, I got your heart. What do you need it for? Cook me a stew, huh? Ooh, what's this? Vivian's alchemy notes. A suitable replacement for the Primatus root must be derived, as the plant went extinct during the Second Blight. Dried red moss cut from a wandering hill has shown similar restorative effects. An emulsion of silverite and elfroot extract can counteract the fatal toxicity of red moss. The solution must be heated for exactly 75 minutes with magical flame. Mundane fires, regardless of fuel type, have been found to burn at too low a temperature. The heart of the snowy wyvern must be added to at the last possible moment. The compound becomes unstable when exposed to light, even if stored in perfect darkness. It is only viable for 3 days. It begins to degrade in potency in a matter of hours, and experimentation has shown that the age regression effect decreases steadily over time from the moment it is synthesized. By the second day, the results are almost too subtle to detect, and by the third, it is entirely useless.
I can't make heads or tails of this. Age regression? Who is this potion for?
What can I do for you, my dear? Is it too much to hope that you've brought me the heart of the snowy wyvern?
Bye.
If you want the wyvern's heart, you'll tell me what you're using it for.
I can do better, darling. Give me the heart, and I'll show you what it's for. Will that suffice?
All right. 1 heart, as requested.
How kind of you. Please accept this as your payment. I must begin work immediately. You have been a dear friend, and I would like you to come with me.
Where are we going?
To the dungeon.
No!
She's going to resurrect the dead! Chapter 5.
You can obviously tell what characters inspire them.
Watchman Donnan? Is that any...
Exactly.
What's in face?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The captain of the guard.
Yeah.
The smuggler captain. Obviously inspired by certain people that he knows.
This should only take a moment, Inquisitor.
What is this?
I'm here, my darling. Yes, darling.
It's going to be all right, my love.
My darling? Bastien?
Vivienne, I'm sorry.
There's nothing here now.
That was short.
Yeah. Good. Vivienne, explain.
Bastien is dead. I can hardly believe. It was the Winter Send Ball. My first visit to the Imperial Palace. The Circle sent a dozen of us to entertain the nobility. I was in awe of everyone and everything, and then our eyes met. Bastien spent the entire ball at my side. The Dowager tried to have him killed for slighting her, but he didn't care.
Obviously he was smitten. But what did you think of him?
He was a dashing rogue, and any defects he might have had were made up for with rank and importance. It was a more innocent time, I suppose. And now he's gone, and I must write to his son Laurent. And his sister will make a terrible fuss if she isn't informed first. And I'll need to arrange for the chantry services. Maker only knows how long that will take.
If I can help you, just say the word.
No, my dear. I'll handle everything. Excuse me, I have so much to do. Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
I'd like to know more about you, Madame Vivienne.
Whatever would you like to know?
Why don't you tell me more about your Duke?
Bastien was the leader of the Council of Heralds. The only person who could bring that rabble into line. He could charm a bird out of its feathers, and frequently did. I remember once, he broke up a fight between Prosper de Montfort and the Dowager with a joke and a glass of wine. Oh, Bastien. I'm sorry, my dear. I don't think I can discuss this. Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
Sir Varric was spying on us all this time. I'm impressed. I never would have taken him for a player of the game. I'll have to watch him more closely from now on.
Hi, Varric. Solus comes out the door. You get used to it. Obviously that did nothing. I know, but... See, there's an achievement for, like... completely upgrade a throne.
What can I get you?
What can we craft? Fine. Sorry, Stabby, you're being retired. Where do I modify? There. Yeah. Oh, I don't have any. Okay. There. Went from fire to corruption. Stabby has been upgraded. And Cullen's ready to report, so we can finally send someone else out to do something. You still got
I have
an hour
requests
left.
for information on your lineage from a few interested parties at the Winter Palace.
Andraste, preserve me. Feel free to use those requests as kindling.
No, I shall take them. I want to know who pines for our commander. We can use this to our advantage.
I am not bait.
Hush. Just look pretty.
3 outposts on the Navarran border were found abandoned with no sign of struggle and nothing destroyed or taken. But in every camp, this message. We hold your Inquisition in high esteem. Thetis' present troubles are great, but you have the strength to meet and conquer them. More will come. We prepare for the day and hold vigil. Do not look for your men. Do not mourn them. They have given themselves of their own free will to a higher cause. On behalf of powers across the sea, The Executors.
Executor. What does that mean?
Someone's turning into a bit of a dragon hunter, I've heard.
You talking about me? Dearest Josephine, do you recall the last letter I sent about the new volunteers who have reported to Suladin Keep to help with our efforts? Lady Doucette, daughter of Lord Basil Moran, was one of them. We were unaware of her real identity because she came to us disguised as a villager. Unfortunately, Lord Basil has just now discovered the whereabouts of his missing daughter and has accused the Inquisition of kidnapping her. Lord Basil's colorful slander of the Inquisition has cast a shadow on our relations with wealthy Southern Orlesian society. Complicating matters, Lady Doucette refuses to return to her father in the gilded cage of a gentlewoman. I can't very well tie her up and deliver her to the Lord in a barrel, can I? Why can't we? We don't have to literally put her in a barrel, but let Lady Doucette know in no uncertain terms that she is no longer welcome in the Inquisition. Lady Doucette should follow her heart. Lord Basil is a minor noble, and his favor is not worth courting. I can trick him into social ruin. Once he is torn down, he may rant, but no one will listen.
Sounds like a good thing to do.
Sorry, Colin, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, Kali Wali.
My dear Inquisition Nate, there is no time for us to dance in the Winter Palace, but perhaps I might claim that dance you offer now. You may not be familiar with the Element. It is the prelude to every great movement in music and in the game. I would be happy to teach you the steps. To begin, the couples form two lines facing one another. South of the Imperial Highway, between Verchiel and Montsimard, is the Yelen Basin. It is a beautiful place of walnut groves, hollyhocks, and fifth-rate meanderies that recently lost its lord to the Civil War. On the western edge of Yelen, the hopeful young Comte de Poisson stands, lining up his little toy soldiers for a quick and quiet invasion. Surely you would not leave the poor boy without a dance partner. If the Inquisition defends lordless Yelen Basin, it might perhaps be considered your property. Be mindful of the steps, my dear. Cordially, Marquis Mantilon. Yelen is a small basin. We can easily send in enough troops to defend it from attack.
Inquisitor.
You got 14 minutes. You got an hour.
Where's Blondie? Oh, more. Who invited her? Who invited her? Swoop-a-doop just sneaking in now? She ain't no Inquisition goon.
So now the question is, where's my throne?
It's taking a sweet time. So was the carpeting.
Yes, I want to do that. Go to the word table to find Samson's weakness.
Sorry, mate, we're doing side quests.
Slay the dragons. Map, map, map. Gather malachite. Unlock the door. Oh!
What?
I think I can do that quickly.
Lock the door?
No.
Find the key.
Yes.
How do you do that quickly? You take all of your roads. Hey, weren't you supposed to be saving Blackwell?
Yeah, but I can't do it because everyone's busy.
Well, it's your fault for sending Cullen McCarklin off in the...
He wasn't able to do it.
Hey, you ever found that miner?
Where did you go? Yep. Apparently, we experienced a glitch where all you really had to do was leave the area and then come back, and they'd respawn.
What do you want?
I believe this is yours.
Nothing here's worth as much as this. It's all I have left. I don't have much, but this opens one of my old caches. Whatever's left is yours. As thanks.
She gave us the key.
What about the spot up there? Another one.
That's to open the final door, but I need the last shards.
Which we're hoping is in this place, yeah?
No.
Oh.
I believe it's in Emprise de Lyon, but the shard seeker, that I call him, that helps you locate them, is guarded by one of the high dragons.
Fight him!
I will eventually.
Knock him down.
It's a landmark. Yep, that's how I claim them. Hey, Nug. Oop. I went the wrong way. So I'm gonna take this path. Hi, Fennec. node's charred, but a portion remains legible. The torch will scatter them, or draw them. I'm fairly certain they'll scatter. Spiders.
See, that's what you had to do. You had to light the torch and then just have fun.
Let me through, please. Deep mushroom. Who knew spiders had ribs? Well, these ones do. Serpent stone. So what's in here? Sweet. Now we just gotta get the last shards. Map. Yep, the last shards are in Emprise de Leon. Who's out here? Good work. Probably. Can't fast travel there anymore. Let's end this by trying to kill a high dragon.
Of course.
And what did they need? All's well, it seems.
Okay, Bull. See if you can help me kill a high dragon, since you really like fighting those. Yeah, Kunari hold dragons in high esteem. Because he keeps dying.
Messer.
Hence why I'm bringing Solus. Yep, there's only one now. I'll get back to you in a bit. Here we go. This is not the way in. That's the oculariums, the shard seeker. Basically look through it and it reveals where shards are in the immediate area.
Feel another of the elven artifacts.
I don't care, Solus. We got a dragon to fight.
Let's try not to get eaten, shall we?
That is a good plan. Bull's already dead. Thank you, Solus. I'm stuck on a rock. No, don't harvest them. I know. I can't help it. Jump is the same button as interact. That's why. Oh, it's got armor. Now it doesn't. Thank you, Shield Bash. Ow. Okay. Just keep moving. Solus. Solus. I'm trying to skirt the edge. You missed. Guys, if you need to take a potion. I think Bull just went flying. Yeah, I know. This is why I like to bring Solus with, because he has an ability that allows him to resurrect people. Ooh, get more potions. Of course he would do that. Wrong way. I knew that was gonna happen. Well, yeah. Ow, and I'm stuck on a rock again. Yeah. Here we go again. Solace. No, I've been stunned. Oh, what the heck? Running buddies. Okay, this is not fair. Yeah, but I'm getting ganged up on now. I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. And now I'm stunned. I guess, and now I'm all alone and I'm gonna die. If I could just get over to... Dang it, that didn't work. Leave me alone. They're soulless. Ow. Okay. Well, I'm trying to... Let me just... Dang it! And now I'm stunned. Thank you, Solus. Get off the bones, get off the bones. This guy. Ball is down again. Everyone else is dying. This is not good. Solus. Take him out already. Ah, you. Ball. Ow. Ow. Rid of this guy quickly so I don't die. Okay, he's done. Just get to... Solus, where are you? No, 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 no. No, come on. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. God dang it.
That's a lot of lizards.
That's why these guys are super hard. Well, since it's the first time I've seen someone call for backup.
So I'm thinking we learned some very important things today.
Like?
Protect the healer.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the creeps before you go for the big guy, because they just get in the way. And yeah, so I think field fear is kind of an important thing. Oh yeah, make sure you're all topped out.
I am. Let's try this one last time. Now that I know he summons people, gotta watch out for that. I'm coming for you.
No trouble.
Herb. Yep. They were hot springs. Yeah, the dragons basically took over the area. Hence why they want us to take care of them, so they don't start breeding and invade everywhere.
Well, apparently we ain't doing such a good job seeing as this one's already got little ones.
There's an elven artifact nearby.
Nobody cares.
I care.
Not right now.
So is you are valuable. Yeah, sneak up on him while he's not looking.
Let's try not to get eaten, shall we?
Well, it's because I'm also using shield bashes, and I don't think those do a lot of damage to them. However, shield bashes are really good against taking out his armor. Thank you. Ugh. Poor bull. Get back here. Poor bull. Down to about half potion. Solus is kind of my... Whoa! Solus is... I kind of consider Solus to be the healer of the party. Since a lot of his... abilities I put into the spirit tree, which deal with a lot of like barriers and healing and stuff like that. Come on. How did I miss that? Come on! That's okay. Solus can revive him. That's why I like Solus. Two potions already, great. Yep. Incoming! Fall! Of course, Solus had just revived him, so it's gonna be a bit. I can't get to him because of the tail. Here they come. Solus, you need to take one. Eric, just cause. Why did I... I know. So I'm hoping Solus will revive him. Yes! He's down. Here come more. Oh, that sucked. Can't tell where they are. Yeah, I know. They were... Oh, Varric. At least these guys go down quickly. I know. And I have no potions, so... Yeah, but once he goes down, he's gonna be top. He's gonna be priority. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, but that went like through most of my... God damn it. Oh, Solus. I don't know, but I don't care. Now I do. Come. Ugh. Solus, if you can you please revive? Oh. Oh great, oh great, oh great. No! That's bull. Solus. This is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Thank you. Now, Solus, please revive them when you get the chance. Or I could probably do it right now. Thank you. Here we come. Ow. Incoming. it. Ow. Need my armor up. Ugh. Ah! No! No! Get him, get him, get him! Ah! So let's get up, so let's get up, please. And here come more. And Bull's down. And I'm barely hanging on. Yeah, but stupid rock. No, 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 please. This is not working. I need a... Solus, please revive them. No! Leave me alone, please. I'm gonna get hit, I'm gonna get hit. Oh, come on!
That's pretty close, though.
Yeah, it was. Well, time to return to Skyhold. To the war table.
Your worship.
How much longer do you got? 9 minutes. We receive word from Lady Eustace Richelieu, who presumes more and more to speak as an authority in these affairs. She's also quick to use us and we. A strategic demand, Inquisitor. The Thibaults concede that you are within your right to ask that they bear the weight of bargaining with Lord de Rosier. The frivolous marriage between Celeste Thibault and a son of the Leandre family, a name of little bearing, has been wisely called off in favor of a proper matchmaking, one that will profit players and arbiters both. In your gracious service, Lady Eustace. To the leadership of the Inquisition, it comes as a great shock to me that the organization that claims to be defending us from the breach holds an interest in walnut farming. Perhaps you intend to throw unshelled nuts into the sky to repel demons? Truly, such matters are beyond my expertise. If you have a legitimate claim to Yelen, I should like to hear it. If you think it worthwhile, we can have Tom Rainier, previously known to us as Blackwell, released from the Valroyo prison in which he awaits justice. Keep in mind, Inquisitor, that he is wanted in Orlais for the massacre which claimed the lives of Lord Vincent Callier, general and staunchly ally of Celine, and all of Callier's family. I leave this in your hands. Then what's this one? Lilian informs me that your contacts in the underworld could aid in having Rainier released from prison. The route would covertly mask the Inquisition's involvement. I can request a special dispensation from the Orlesian throne, allowing Tom Rainier to be transferred to Inquisition custody. This may anger some, but after Halam Sharal, they owe us a favor. 2 problems, 1 solution. There was a traitor to our cause, a man similar in build and appearance to Rainier. We bind and gag him and have him take Rainier's place. He is condemned instead, and the world believes Rainier has paid the price. We can storm the prison with a small force and take Rainier into our custody. Valroyo's prison guards will oppose us. We should be prepared for casualties. No. Let's do that. The dispensation came, few questions asked. What passed in Halam Sharal is fresh in their minds. Rainier awaits your judgment. Lady Doucette should follow her hard. Lord Basile is a minor noble, and his favors are not worth guarding. Yeah.
Inquisitor?
I've been told that the Council of Heralds has reviewed the evidence and now recognizes Everesty Lamarck, known to us till now as Fairbanks, as the sole heir of Lord Gros Lamarck. All holdings in Châtel retained by the Lamarck noble house have now reverted to the ownership of Lord Everest Lamarck. I smell an opportunity. As I understand it, Fairbanks never wanted to acknowledge who he was. It was you who allowed word of his heritage to be revealed to the Council of Heralds. I say we leave him alone. Let him retain his privacy, what little is left. I would like to see how he fares at court. The game is merciless, and even its best players often falter. A forest-dwelling loner? He'll be butchered. But given an easy target, predators often become arrogant and expose their weaknesses. A rebel helping the helpless, fighting the enemies of the Empire, and all the while hiding the secret of his noble blood? It makes for a romantic story, and our legions love their romance. Sell Lord Every's right, and we'll have all the wealthy ladies of Southern Orlais eating out of his hand, and ours. Let's go with Colin.
All right.
Okie dokie then. So we'll end it with the judgment.
For judgment this day, Inquisitor, I must present Captain Tom Rainier, formerly known to us as Warden Blackwall. His crimes... well, you are aware of his crimes. It was no small expense to bring him here, but the decision of what to do with him is now yours.
I didn't think this would be easy, but it's harder than I thought.
Another thing to regret. What did you have to do to release me?
Josephine called in a few favors. There are enough people out there who owe the Inquisition.
And what happens to the reputation the Ambassador has so carefully cultivated? The world will learn how you've used your influence. They'll know the Inquisition is corrupt.
Once the world is back to normal, no one will even remember this.
I'll remember. I accepted my punishment. I was ready for all this to end. Why would you stop it? What becomes of me now?
You have your freedom.
It cannot be as simple as that.
It isn't. You're free to atone as the man you are, not the traitor you thought you were, or the warden you pretended to be.
The man I am. I barely know him. But I have a lot to make up for. If my future is mine, then I pledge it to the Inquisition. My sword is yours. If I'd said anything less, would an arrow from the rookery have snuffed me like a candle?
Take your post, Tom Rainier.
Let's go check on him.
You have to admit, it looks bad.
Inquisitor?
How shall I refer to you? Rainier or Blackwall?
I've gotten used to Blackwall. Perhaps we could treat it as less of a name and more of a title. Almost like Inquisitor. Reminds me of what I ought to be.
Everyone needs something to aspire to.
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Is there anything you actually know about the Wardens, or did you make it all up?
I made very little up. I also feared you knew enough to contradict me. Warden Blackwall told me a bit before my initiation, but it is a secretive order. Not even the most senior Wardens know all there is to know.
Now we know why you were never worried about Corypheus's calling.
Yes. I have none of the Warden's abilities and none of the drawbacks. Still, I would have fought through the darkest pits of the deep roads like any true Warden. There's more to it than being able to sense darkspawn. Warden Blackwall would have agreed.
The Wardens at Adamant listened to you. They saw you as one of their own.
Perhaps it takes an outsider to show how much of yourself you've lost. I never understood the reality of being a Warden. I only saw the ideal. I suppose I reminded them of something they'd forgotten.
You have a lot of respect for the Wardens.
They take all men, from the most noble to the most despicable, and make them equals. I needed to believe something like that was possible.
Why did Blackwall want to recruit you?
He never told me. I don't know what he saw that day besides some wreck starting a bar fight. That night, I taught some village militia a painful lesson about harassing the tavern girl. Didn't know I had an audience.
I can see why the Warden was impressed.
You're assuming my intentions were noble. Told the girl to keep the wine coming. She couldn't, not with those louts bothering her. Something had to be done.
We'll continue this another time.
The war in Olay has claimed too many lives. I pray that it's over for good.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I just know that you could shake this world to its foundations if you willed it.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Yes, I am. There it went away. Sit in judgment of the prisoner. It's like there is no prisoner now.
Inquisitor.
So, we did not beat a High Dragon, but we did help our companions out, and we did follow up on everything that happened after the ball. Overall, I think a pretty productive time. But I'm gonna have to end it here now, since we've been going for a pretty long while. Plus, this will give everyone a chance to get their missions done. Next time, probably more side stuff. See if I can finally beat that second High Dragon, maybe. And we'll see what else becomes available. Till then, if you liked this video, let me know in the comments. If you really liked it, press that cute little like button. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Luke Dog, and I'll see you next time.